On Wednesday, Jerril Rechter was named as the new CEO of Basketball Australia, coming off a successful stint as the CEO of VicHealth. We had the opportunity to ask Rechter a few questions following her appointment, ranging from her goals for BA, the issues between the organisation and Australia's NBA players, and what the next 2 years could hold. Here's the entire interview. Foxtel is your home for live NBA, NBL. Get it all on Foxtel. foxsports.com.au. How did this come to fruition? How did you becoming CEO of BA come to be? Jerril Rechter, it's been a very exciting opportunity, and we've been going through a process over the last period. I'm delighted, absolutely delighted that I've been the successful candidate, without a doubt. I think, certainly my role at VicSport, we're the second largest funder of sport in Victoria, so I know the sector and basketball very well, so maybe all those pieces lined up. Gaze calls it quits at Kings 217. Do you have a mission statement of sorts? What is it you'd like to achieve at Basketball Australia, especially over the next 2 years, two of the biggest years in Basketball Australia's history? This is a really exciting time for basketball. There's huge momentum happening across Australia and, as you mentioned, the next 2 years. We've got the big game at Marvel Stadium later in the year, we've got the FIBA World Cup, we've got the Olympics, so that momentum is very, very exciting. I guess, for me, I'm yet to start in the role, so I really want to be looking forward to meeting all of the state and territory organizations, and the key stakeholders. Learning more about what they want to see as the opportunities for the code in Australia, so I'm yet to start, but all of those conversations are ahead of me. I know you've worked with basketball, but there's no basketball-specific things in your background, from what I saw. How do you think that maybe helps you in this role, bringing your versatile background as an executive to the position? There are so many people, like myself, that absolutely have loved basketball through their lives. Certainly I was one of those people who played basketball in high school and can still remember what it felt like running up and down the court with my team, so I think, for many of us across the country who still have those memories and that love for basketball, that really does help bring an exciting memory to the organization. As I said before, the code is just taking off in Australia. It's the sport at the moment that is on everyone's lips, and that's the bit that I'm really excited about going forward. Speaking on that, we know basketball is growing at this immense rate. How do you plan to thrust it more into the mainstream, to be one of those main sports in Australia? As you said, the interest in basketball is absolutely rising across the nation, and Australia's got some of the best athletes, the coaches, the talent pathways, administrators, and it's got that strong volunteer base, and also the grassroots participation piece as well. I think, for me, certainly basketball is a sport for everybody, and it's got an incredible role in uniting communities and sectors, and it's got this global movement that Australia has been at the forefront of for a very long time. So, again, it's working with all of the current stakeholders for basketball, to be really thinking about what can create an extended vision and unite the sector behind. More basketball news. Basketball Australia appoint new BOSSTHE $1 million bounty. Team USA hat on Yao MINGTHE. Flashy Bulldog. Aussie WHO used rugby league to stun NBA SCOUTSNEW contenders and the tank for Zion. Where every NBA team sits. Have you thought about people to go to, or groups to go to, when it comes to making very basketball-specific decisions? Do you have an idea of who to reach out to, or pick the brain of, for those very specific basketball decisions? Look, obviously it's a federated model, so the states and territories are really critical for the organization. Certainly I'll be reaching out to them in my early days, and there's a huge other group of stakeholders, from the NBL right through to the grassroots participation piece, as well as some legends of the game, that I have had the privilege to know in some of my earlier career, so those are the people I'll really be reaching out to, and obviously working with the board and staff at Basketball Australia to prioritize who I should be speaking to when I actually get into the role. One of the latest develops, and I'm sure you've been told about this, once you star the role, it's probably something that needs to be addressed. It is what Patty Mills said recently. He spoke about a significant gap between Basketball Australia and the Australian NBA players. I know you're new to the role, but have you been caught up with those issues, and can you talk about how you plan to bridge that gap between BA and the NBA players, and those playing abroad? Certainly I know, and watched with great interest, the commentary that happened last week. I've got great respect for Patty, without a doubt. I know the work that's been going on at Basketball Australia to maintain and build upon the trust between the players and the organization as well. They're the things I certainly see as a priority for myself, as the CEO, just to continue to build upon those relationships, and build that trust, and basically what we really want to be doing is making sure our players have the best opportunity to play at their best. That's what Basketball Australia have been focused on, and that certainly will be a focus of mine for the future. Patty Mills has raised issues within Basketball Australia. Source: News Corp Australia. Have you, by any chance, put together a plan or schedule on when you plan to reach out to some of these guys, and some of the women playing abroad, with regard to hearing what they have to say about some of these issues? Certainly, as I said, I haven't started in the role yet, so when I get into the role, I'll be really happy to continue this discussion with you and let you know my plans. I'd really appreciate the opportunity to do that. Do you feel any pressure coming into these 2 years, obviously with the World Cup and the Olympics for men and women? It's an opportunity for the sport, and the whole nation to get behind the code, to increase the opportunity for women and men, and girls and boys, for basketball across Australia. We absolutely see it as a significant opportunity for the sport, for the code. This is a time where many Australians are looking for those shining lights that bring our collective energy together, and we want to get behind our sports stars and our heroes, and that's the exciting opportunity over the next period, without a doubt. My last question is, I know you're a big advocate for gender equality. Is that something you'd like to be very proactive about bringing to this role, continuing the conversation with regard to women in sport, women in the workplace, creating and bringing in that progressive culture with NBA right away? I know what I really connect to with basketball is that it's a non-gendered sport, and it really breaks some of those traditional ways that we think about this is men's sport and this is women's sport. The opportunity for women and girls in basketball is absolutely significant, and something certainly that I would love to be bringing to this role, and something I will focus on. ***** Olgun ULUC covers basketball for Fox Sports Australia. Twitter, @olgunulik.